What's the next step for Jimmer Fredette? Tom Farrey joins us here. ESPN reported a phenomenal job on that story yesterday. Tom, Rodger, Wyland, Chris Onorato in Albany on ESPN Radio. Good morning.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good, Tom. Appreciate a few minutes. First of all, what was your reaction like meeting Jimmer, getting a chance to talk to Jimmer? And we all know him pretty darn well in the capital region. From somebody outside the lines like yourself, what was your take on Jimmer as a person?
I mean, I really enjoyed him. I've been doing this for 30 years now. He's one of the more enjoyable athletes I've ever dealt with. He's just he's just down to earth. I mean, despite everything he's seen and done, he's very grounded. He's kind of a well-rounded person too. He can talk to you about all sorts of things in society. He's not just just basketball and sports. He's I don't know. He's just a really neat person. I enjoyed my time with him.
I don't know what your thoughts are, but knowing Jimmer the way we do, and even though he had a phenomenal run in China, and the fans over there would be totally upset if he doesn't return, there's a big part of him, Tom, that wants to still play in the NBA. Yeah,
sure. Why wouldn't you, right? If you're competitive and you think of yourself as, among the best, why wouldn't you want to play among the best? So I get it. He's got, and look, the guy's got skills. I'm not entirely sure why he's not in the NBA right now. I mean, he can score like crazy. I guess there are questions about whether he's a 1 or 2, or if he's strong on defense. But I don't know. I mean, you see a player like Steph Curry, roughly the same size, scoring like crazy in the NBA, and nobody says Steph is the greatest defender in the world either. And I'm not saying Jimmer is Steph, but I mean, he's kind of in that model. So I don't know. I got to believe that there's a team out there that could use a guy like him, who's a good teammate, and and can give you some juice off the bench.
Tom Farrey of ESPN joining us here on ESPN Radio in Albany, and you can find him on Twitter at Tom Farrey, simple enough, F-A-R-R-E-Y. Check out the great things he's doing with the Aspen Institute and Sports and Society. Tom, Chris Onorato here with Rodger. Can you give us just a little bit of perspective? Look, I've never been to Shanghai. I've been to China, but never to Shanghai. But in your piece, you said the millions, the hundreds of millions of basketball fans in that country. Can you give us some perspective on just the Jimmer mania that has formed over there?
Yeah, it's Shanghai's a little bit bigger than Glens Falls, I can assure you that. It is, it's the city of 25 million people. It's 3 times the size of New York City. I mean, it's hard to get your mind around how many people are in some of these Chinese cities, and in particular, Shanghai. I mean, look, there are more people in the country of China who watch basketball games than there are people living in the United States. There are more fans of basketball over there than there are people living in the U.S. I mean, it's hard to get your mind around, but it's a huge market, and yet it's also, and they love basketball. I mean, basketball is the most popular sport over there, just above badminton and a couple other. I mean, baseball, forget it. American football, really forget it. I mean, it's basketball and a couple other sports. The challenge over there, they haven't developed any really good players since Yao. I mean, there are like 40 nations that have players represented in the NBA right now, and none of them are from China, the world's largest country. And it's in part because they have they don't train their players the right way. It's all about drilling. So, they can hit that 18-foot jumper if they're wide open, or they handle the ball pretty well, but they're not really super creative players. They don't improvise very well. There's sort of a lack of love of game baked into the DNA of what they're doing over there. And it's not the players' fault. It's just the way the government has approached training players over the years. It's a young sport, and so then you get a player like Jimmer come along, and he's playing with fun and flair, and so I think he represents the kind of player that they would. And he's not that big, and I think that in him they see the kind of player that they want to develop. And so I think he sparked something in imagination over there. And he's certainly been very, immersed in the culture and appreciative of it, and wants to be a good teammate and wants to kind of, help Chinese basketball advance. So it's been sort of a cool thing to watch.
Tom, what kind of lifestyle does Jimmer live over there? I mean, is he, I know he's a god, but do we know how much money Jimmer makes? And does he get a car? I mean, we hear how well that those athletes playing at that level that Jimmer's at are treated. What do we know about the way Jimmer lives his life when he's in Shanghai?
Oh, he's partying till the break of dawn. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. No. He's just living the Jimmer lifestyle over there. He's very disciplined in his approach. He watches a lot of ESPN, yes, like a lot of other players, but he gets out, he hops on the subway, explores the city, enjoys the food a little bit. Not all of the foods over there because he can get a little bit crazy, but he generally enjoys his time over there. The apartment that they put him in, I wouldn't describe it as like super swank or anything like that. It's actually pretty modest. It looks like something out of like a college situation, to be honest with you. But we walk in and Jimmer's like, yeah, look, I got a really nice place. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, it was nice when I was back in college, but it's not the high roller lifestyle. He does make good money over there, however. I mean, it's it's all tax free. So he's probably making more over there than he would be making in the U.S. And on top of that, he has tremendous sponsorship opportunities. He already has a shoe deal. He did a nutritional supplement company deal recently that was announced in front of, it looked like, half of China. He will have more if he decides to go back there. So it's going to be really lucrative. And I think, look, it's only a 4-month season, so he can do some NBA at the same time. But I think it may get to the point where it's just not financially worth it to just devote your entire time to the NBA. That there are too many opportunities in China.
Tom, always a pleasure. Great job with your reporting on the story. A lot of people watched it, certainly in the capital region when we knew that Jimmer was going to be on. And thanks for a few minutes here on the Monday morning edition of Big Board Sports.
Thanks, Tom.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.